take a minute to talk a little bit about the reintroduction. So days 5 through 7 are for reintroducing foods that you may want to have in your overall diet, or maybe you don't. Maybe you want to save them for special occasions like the 10 to 20%. But that is what days 5 through 7 are for. So typically you will eat the same way you've been doing for days 1 through 4, but you have the option each day to add back in a food group that can be inflammatory and problematic for some, but isn't for all. So my suggestion would be on day 5, if you choose to. So this would be if you cannot see yourself living without grains. You want to incorporate them into your regular diet, so in your 80 to 90%. Then I would encourage that you reintroduce those on day 5. Day 6 would be for legumes, and that includes peanuts. So that's really any type of bean and peanuts, because a lot of people don't realize that those are actually a legume. So if you feel like you cannot live without your peanut butter or your peanuts, I would encourage that you introduce those on day 6. And then day 7 is when, if you feel that you want to have dairy regularly in your diet, you will reintroduce dairy. Now the key piece here is that as you're reintroducing these foods, you are only doing one at a time each day, and that you're paying close attention to how your body reacts to them. Because while this is not a full elimination diet, because really for that you would have to do like 5 to 6 weeks, but it is kind of a mini elimination diet. So you may see some signals and some changes that you didn't notice before, because you were having these things on a regular basis as you reintroduce each on a specific day. So again, day 5 is when I would suggest grains only if you feel that you want to have them in the majority of your diet. So that would include oats, that would be, whole wheat breads, that type of thing. Day 6 would be legumes, and that includes peanuts. And day 7 is going to be dairy if you feel that you need to have it in the majority of your diet. Now for myself, I don't choose to have those 3 food groups in the majority of what I eat for a couple of reasons. I find that I feel better when I do not consume them on a regular, daily basis. And also I have gotten my weight to a point where I am thrilled where I am, and I don't really miss those foods, and adding them back in just doesn't really work for me. My body doesn't handle them as well, and I enjoy the way I eat. So I don't really feel the need to have those in the majority of my diet. However, in the 10 to 20%, when I'm out, if I feel like having hummus occasionally, which is legumes, I certainly do have it. It's just not something that I buy and eat on a regular basis. So that is something that you guys really have to choose for yourselves. And this is one way of doing it, is testing these food groups out, trying them, seeing how you feel after you eat them, and really taking a close look at all of that. Keep notes in your phone or wherever you would typically keep notes and reference back to them, so you can really track and see how you're feeling. Again, this is not a full elimination diet. If you're interested in something like that, I would highly recommend the Whole30. It is something I have done a few rounds of. I'm very, very familiar with it. I have coached clients through it. So if that's something you guys are interested in, definitely check into it and let me know if you're interested in additional help with that. But that is what the reintroduction is going to look like. On day 7 is also when beef and pork are welcome back in. Again, I would pay attention to how you were feeling once you consume those things. I would probably not introduce beef and pork back in on the same day that you were reintroducing something else. So if you are going to do the day 6 or 5, 6, and 7 of the other food groups I mentioned, I would probably hold off for beef and pork until day 8, or maybe skip one of those and reintroduce those 2 on a different day. Again, those are completely optional. I would only recommend doing them in that way if you want to include them in your overall diet. If you do not, and you want to save them for rare occasions, or really don't want to eat them at all, I would introduce them in that way. So say dairy and legumes, you really could care less about. You want those to be whenever, in a specific situation, special occasion, someone's having cheesecake, you want to have some, but you don't want to have them normally, but you really do care about the grains. I would only reintroduce grains in between days 5 and 7, and really pay close attention to how your body's reacting to those. Then I would wait until probably day 8 or 9 and reintroduce one of those other groups. And again, pay close attention, but know that you're only going to be having small amounts of it throughout your healthy lifestyle that you're creating, so you don't have to pay as close attention to how your body reacts. You want to know, but it's not going to be something you're going to be having regularly. So hopefully this makes sense to you guys. Please let me know if you have questions. I obviously am here to answer all of them and guide you guys through this process. I really want this to be helping you transition into an overall healthy lifestyle that you create, that you enjoy, and you're able to maintain and find it completely realistic and something that is doable for you.